You can't save as quick as equity goes up. And it goes up literally overnight.
But you're an official podcaster now. You just
I know,
press
this
the
is
button.
so exciting. It's our first time.
Yay!
Woo-woo.
All right. So one of the things that I just have been trying to really hit on is there's such media attention around buy the house, rent the rate. I mean, how many times have you heard this and how many times have you seen it?
Right.
Yes.
But what's the real math behind it? Why is it really important to buy now and rent the rate? Well, we can get into some of that mathematics, but really for me and everything I've been trying to share with our clients and educate people as much as I can is it's really about what is going to be, what's the market going to look like in the next 12 to 24 months. And if rates do come down, which they are supposed to come down based on all the economic reports and the higher people in Washington that know all the economics of what's going on in the economy, it's really about the frenzy that is going to happen if rates do get somewhere with a 5 in front of it.
Yeah.
And that is where it's going to make it tougher for buyers and even realtors to help buyers when we have this huge inventory problem.
Yeah.
And so what I've been really trying to help clients understand is yeah, rate is one thing and it is important, but the appreciation that you're going to get in the next 12 to 24 months is going to far exceed what you're paying in interest rates. And not only that, it's going to be easier for you to buy now than to wait when this frenzy does kick in and you can't get the house that you want. So maybe you guys can share some of your experiences or some of the things that you've come across in some of those conversations with buyers. And I'll just say real quickly, just this past week, I had 3 clients that have been pre-qualified. They have spent time having their credit pulled. They've spent time sending in all their documents. And then all of a sudden they say, I want to wait. And now I've had to have these kinds of conversations. So
Yeah.
what do you guys have to share as far as that topic? Because it's definitely hot. I think it's been misused, not misused. It's just been really, really pelted out there in the media. Buy now, rent the rate. But why?
Yeah.
That is so good. So
I mean,
take it from
what a
there.
great intro.
Yeah.
And so I know it's like beating a dead horse, but I've been doing this almost 20 years. I've been through many different markets. And this is the market where you can get the deals. You can get seller credits. You can get a lot of things paid for that you will not be able to get when there's low inventory. Becomes a seller's market. There's no deals for buyers. And so that's the big stress is like, hey, let's offer less. Let's start way less. Let's see what we can get for you. On our last sale, they were getting a couch. They got the fridge, washer, and dryer. They got a credit for closing. I mean, there was lots going on.
Yeah, I was going to say it's quite a difference from 2 years ago when I bought a home and I was literally like having to give up my unborn child to just get in the house, and just looking at the offers we were getting on our last listing, it's like, wow, it's apparent that the tables have shifted for sure because now you've got the buyer asking for all these things, and so to kind of piggyback on what you're saying, it's like, yeah, you definitely can really get a better deal right now. And you're really in a lot of situations, what I'm seeing is you're walking in with like built-in equity, you're getting stuff that is priced under what it's actually valued at, what it's been appraised at. Yeah. And so, I mean, yeah, I think in a lot of situations you're walking in like right out of the gate with like built-in.
Yeah.
equity.
So let's talk about that. I mean, let's use an example. You buy a $400,000 house. Let's just assume it appreciates at 5% per year. So that same $400,000 house is now going to be worth $420 next year, 12 months from now. And then the next year, we'll just say it's worth $440. That's at a very low appreciation rate. I think the average appreciation rate in Nashville is anywhere from 7 to 10%. But let's just use 5%. So now that house is worth $440 in 2 years if you buy today. Well, what happens if the phenomenon happens or when the phenomenon happens of the seller not providing some of those contributions or those credits or things of that nature? And, oh, by the way, because of the demand of houses, that's going to have sellers wanting to do what?
the home will be more expensive. There's going to be multiple offers.
Yeah.
Multiple offers are going to raise
Which, by the way,
price.
we are still seeing
higher
multiple
closing
offers.
costs.
Like, that hasn't gone away.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, we
had
actually did
multiple offers.
get multiple
so
offers.
That's the thing. I mean, we still, I know it's softened, the market has softened, but I mean, we still don't have enough inventory technically right now to meet the demand of buyers in the market.
Don't.
So
the statistics I just recently heard is 1.6 million homes are needed right now between buyers and renters. That's across the country, of course, but that's a huge number. And so builders are obviously busy. But to go back to what I just said, so when that value starts creeping up because sellers think they can get more for their house, and they will get more for their house, maybe that house is now not worth $440 in 2 years. It might be now worth $480. And now look what you just had to spend. $480,000 to get that same house that you can buy today for $400, and you're worried about the interest rate today.
Well, let's talk about...
It just doesn't make mathematical sense, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, let's break down the numbers because, like, what is it, because I think people get hung up on that 8%. So, I mean, what is that 8% coming out to in those next,
24 months?
Yeah, 2 years versus that 80,000. I mean...
That 80,000 potential appreciation, exactly.
You can't save as quick as equity goes up. And it goes up literally overnight. Like, you can't even control it.
Did you hear what she just said? You cannot save as fast as your equity can go up. That's a great nugget.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great nugget. That might be the best nugget I've heard in a long time.
This
is Lisa Rubino and Shannon.
Two things. You can
Simply
never...
Home. The Durham Duos. We didn't even introduce you.
I know.
All right, so introduce yourself.
I'm Shannon Surgeoner.
Yes.
I'm Lisa Rubino.
And I'm James Harper from Fairway Independent Mortgage. And this is the Durham Duo.
Yes.
You see them all over social media. They're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Making themselves present, making themselves available. Obviously, experts in the real estate side of things. You definitely need to reach out to them. Give them a try. Let them answer your questions and help solve your problems as to why now is a good time to buy. Anything else you'd like to add before we close it up?
Well, we have a lot of investors wanting to invest. So what creative financing would you have for this market for like temporary, I mean, we could get if it's not all cash, we can ask.
I can tell you that the experience that I've seen is investors don't care about what the rate is right now. Mm-hmm. They really don't. I mean, yes, they want to have the best possible that they can get so that they can cash flow. Mm-hmm. So they do have certain metrics they're trying to get around, but they really just want to acquire that property. Yeah. And there's definitely programs that we can do. The DSCR loan, which is called the investor cash flow loan. Don't care about what your income is at all. And you can acquire as many properties as you want and as your heart desires. And we don't take into consideration your debt to income ratio. We look at if the property cash flows or not. And if it does, we go to closing. Wow. So reach out to us if you're an investor and want to learn more about that, because now if you're an investor and wanting to try to acquire as many properties as possible because of the market conditions, it is a great time to do it. And rate doesn't matter to most investors right now. They just want to get that equity position like we talked about earlier.
And by the way, rents are at an all-time high.
Yes.
Because people can't afford to purchase sometimes. They have to rent. And the landlords are really increasing their rent.
And they're sticking it to them.
So sometimes the cash flow is not that difficult because the rents are so high.
Yes. Very good point. Very good point.
So that's kind of what we talk about. I mean, we just had, a 200 to 300 increase from just the 2 years ago in a Nashville duplex. So,
I don't see that going down.
No,
if you
not
look
at all.
at any historical chart, just Google it on house appreciation. And if we get this on camera, I mean, it's a curve that looks like this.
Yeah.
It's not a curve that looks like this. So if you're waiting to get this really, really good deal because there's going to be a crash and housing prices are going to fall, I got to tell you, it's not happening. It's not happening because if you look at those graphs, historically, home prices are always appreciating. You might have little blips, but it's constantly going in this direction. So that's the best advice we can give today.
Yeah, and we didn't even go into tax savings when you purchase a home. I mean, that's always been so huge.
Maybe you have to come back and we can talk about that next week.
Yeah, we'll bring our CPA. No, I'm just joking. But I mean, the deductions you get when you own a home.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yes. And then we can really get down to the nitty gritty on what you were saying, Shannon, about the interest rate that you're paying.
Yeah.
So if you pay $50,000 over the next 2 years in interest, you get that deduction of $50,000.
Right. Yeah.
And then of course the appreciation that goes along with that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's been great having you here in this short period of time. We have many, many more episodes to come here at the Emerald Room with the Durham Duo.
Thank you for having us.
We always love having you come by. And so thanks for coming.
Thank
And
you.
Thank you for having
See you
us.
next time.
See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.